Emma lay face down on a soft towel, feeling the tension of the past few weeks lodged deep in her shoulders. Her apartment on Manhattan Avenue ate up almost her entire junior designer salary. But after today's client presentation, where the man changed his mind more often than New York weather, she'd earned this massage. The doorbell rang precisely at 8. Finally, she whispered, adjusting her robe and unlocking the door. But it wasn't Marcus from Elite Wellness Spa, the one with strong professional hands and 20 years of experience. Instead, standing there was a guy no older than 25, a mop of dark blonde hair falling over his forehead, looking as if he just sprinted out of an astrophysics lecture. In his hands, he held a worn-out backpack instead of an elegant case filled with oils. Emma Adams? He asked, his voice trembling almost as much as her nerves after a third cup of coffee today. You don't look like Marcus, she said, folding her arms across her chest. The robe barely covered her thighs, and she caught the way his eyes flicked down before quickly snapping back up. Yeah, about that. The guy flushed. Marcus came down with food poisoning. Something about sushi on 42nd Street. I'm Liam and I'm his temporary replacement. Emma raised an eyebrow. Temporary replacement? Do you even have a massage license? Technically, he shifted his weight awkwardly. I'm studying physical therapy at Columbia University and I watch a lot of YouTube tutorials. YouTube, her voice jumped an octave. Very educational videos, Liam added quickly. And I'm desperate for cash. My roommate blew all my savings on some crypto scam called Doge Mooncoin. Against all reason, Emma felt her lips twitch into a smile. Maybe it was the long day, or maybe his nervous honesty was so disarming it melted her skepticism. Fine, she sighed, stepping aside. But if you injure me, I'll sue you. Promise not to injure, he said, stepping inside. His eyes widened as he took in her spacious apartment with its panoramic windows. Wow, nice place. Thanks. Bathrooms over there to wash your hands. And Liam. She turned, her robe parting slightly to reveal the smooth line of her neck and collarbone. Don't make me regret this. As he disappeared into the bathroom, Emma caught her reflection in the mirror. What was she doing? Letting some random student put his hands on her? But there was something about his clumsy honesty that she liked. And to be fair, he was pretty cute in that smart guy way she'd always been weak for. Okay, I'm ready, Liam announced as he came out of the bathroom. Emma was already lying on the massage table she'd rented with the service, covered with a white sheet down to her waist. Her back was bare, and the soft evening twilight from the window danced across her skin. God, he muttered under his breath, stopping in his tracks. Something wrong? She asked without turning her head. No, everything's great. Just wow. He fumbled in his backpack and pulled out a bottle of oil that looked like it came straight from the nearest drugstore. Start with your shoulders? The first touches were careful, almost timid. His palms were warm, but trembled slightly as he spread oil over her shoulder blades. Emma closed her eyes, trying to relax, but instead focused on the sensation. How his fingers slid over her skin, leaving trails of heat. Tell me about physical therapy, she said, hoping to distract herself from the fact that his hands were slowly working their way down her spine. Well, it's actually fascinating, he began, his voice gaining confidence. The human body is this incredible machine. Every muscle connects to another, and when one's tight, it affects everything. As he spoke, his movements grew steadier. His fingers found a particularly tense spot between her shoulder blades and worked it with surprising skill. Music, Emma sighed involuntarily. That feels amazing. Really? Proud note crept into his voice. There's a huge knot here. You must spend way too much time at a computer. Far too much. She melted under his hands. Sometimes I forget what sunlight looks like. Liam chuckled, the sound filling the room with warmth. His hands moved with more rhythm now, palms gliding along the contours of her body. When he reached her lower back, Emma felt her breath catch. Mind if I lower the sheet a bit? I need to get to the bottom of your back. Emma's heart quickened. She slowly pulled the fabric down, exposing the line of her lower back and the gentle rounded curve of her buttocks. That's a really beautiful, He whispered before realizing he'd spoken aloud. I mean, your structure very anatomically correct. Emma couldn't help but smile. Anatomically correct. That's the best compliment I've ever heard. Sorry, he stumbled. You're really beautiful, Emma, and I probably shouldn't have said that. She turned her head, meeting his gaze. There was something so sincere in his eyes. She wanted to reach up and touch his face. And why shouldn't you? Liam froze, his hands still resting on her lower back. Something electric hung between them, charged with unspoken possibility. Because it's unprofessional, he whispered at last. And because you might think I'm just some creep pretending to be a masser. Are you? Emma asked, holding his gaze. Just some creep. If I were, I probably wouldn't be blushing this hard right now. She laughed, the tension easing. Keep going, Liam. You're better at this than you think. He returned to the massage, but something had shifted. His touch was firmer, more intentional. As he worked down her legs, starting at her ankles and moving upward, Emma felt waves of warmth ripple through her body. Tell me about yourself, she said, trying to focus on anything other than how perfectly his hands seemed to find every tense spot, besides school and endless YouTube. Well, I'm from a small town in Oregon, he said, kneading her calves. My parents wanted me to be a doctor, but I prefer the idea of restoring movement instead of just treating illness, helping people get their lives back. Noble, she mewed into the pillow. And I play guitar in a little band. We're called Quantum Entanglement. Super nerdy name, I know. I like it. Do you play anywhere? Sometimes at a cafe on Bleecker Street. Our audience is mostly my roommate and a few sleepy students. Emma laughed again, her body trembling under his hands. Liam held his breath for a second. Sorry, she said. I didn't mean to. Don't apologize. His voice was lower, rougher. You have a beautiful laugh. His hands slid higher, tracing the lines of her thighs, and Emma's breathing quickened. This was supposed to be a massage, but the chemistry between them sparked in the air. Liam. Yeah. Can you stop for a second? He pulled his hands away instantly. Did I do something wrong? If I crossed a line, she turned, sitting on the edge of the table with the sheet clutched to her chest. Her hair spilled over her shoulders, her eyes shining in the dim light. You didn't do anything wrong, she said softly. Quite the opposite. But I need to know this for you. Is it just a massage or something more? Liam stood in front of her, hands stiff at his sides, looking as though he was solving the hardest equation of his life. Honestly, it's supposed to be just a massage, but from the second you open the door, I haven't been able to stop thinking how incredible you are. Emma reached up and touched his cheek. Liam leaned into her hand, eyes closing. You know what's funny? She said. I booked this massage because I was tense after a horrible day. And now I'm tense. And turn on for an entirely different reason. Is that good or bad? He asked, opening his eyes. Instead of answering, she pulled him closer. Their lips met in a kiss that was both tender and hungry. Liam cradled her face in his hands as Emma wrapped her arms around his neck. This is crazy, he whispered when he pulled away. The best kind of crazy, she murmured, kissing him again. Suddenly, the lights went out. Total darkness. Oh, come on, Emma muttered. Blackout, he said. They happen a lot around here. Usually the power's back in an hour. They sat in the dark, holding on to each other. The situation equal parts intimate and comical. So what do we do now? Emma asked. Well, I could try to finish the massage by candlelight, he said with a grin in his voice. I've got a flashlight on my phone. Or, she traced her fingers across his chest. We could find other ways to relax. Liam swallowed. Emma, I don't want you to think I'm taking advantage. She kissed him, cutting him off. Liam, if you don't shut up and kiss me again right now, I really will sue you. He laughed, pulling her closer. Sue me for what exactly? For making me want you this much after just 1 hour of knowing you. In the darkness, their touches grew bolder, more meaningful. Every kiss, every brush of fingers against skin was magnified. Emma felt the heat of his body, the scent of his skin, the sound of his quickened breath. You know what's the funniest part? She whispered in his ear. What? You're actually a really good masser. even without YouTube. Liam laughed, the sound like music in the dark. Maybe I should switch majors from physical therapy to personal services. Oh no, Emma said, kissing his neck. You're mine now, my personal Mauer. I'm not sharing. When the lights finally flickered back on an hour later, they were tangled together on the massage table. Emma felt more relaxed than she ever had before, and it had little to do with professional massage. So what now? Liam asked, brushing his fingers through her hair. Now, she said with a smile. You come back tomorrow and bring your guitar. I want to hear quantum entanglement and more massage. Emma lifted her head, meeting his eyes. Definitely more massage, but next time let's start with you being my real masser. Okay, I like that version much better. Liam kissed her forehead. Deal. But I'm still charging for my services. Of course, professionalism matters. As they laughed together under the lamplight, Emma realized that sometimes the best mistakes lead to the greatest surprises.